Buckle up, everybody, because we are diving deep into F1 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix qualifying.
Oh, yeah.
This one's going to be a wild ride.
Absolutely.
We've got some juicy articles to dig into.
Some great stuff.
AS.com, Mundo Deportivo, and OKDIRIO.
Yeah.
All covering that intense qualifying session.
Yeah, this is the final qualifying of the season.
Oh, yeah. So much is on the line.
The championship points.
Driver standings.
Bragging rights.
All under the lights of Yas Marina.
Oh, it's going to be a spectacle.
You know it.
For sure.
So what was the first thing that jumped out at you when you were reading these articles?
I mean, you got to start with McLaren, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they completely stole the show.
Stole the show.
Blocked out that front row.
Norris.
And Piastri.
Right there with him.
It's a power move.
A real statement.
Especially with the Constructors' Championship.
Hanging in the balance.
Like, it is 0.209 seconds between them.
I mean,
that's wild.
It's crazy how close that is. It really shows how much they've perfected that strategy and the teamwork.
All season long, they've been working towards this.
But is it going to be enough to clinch that championship?
Well, they are 21 points ahead of Ferrari.
Going into this final race.
And with that front row lockout, it's going to be very tough for Ferrari to catch up.
Unless we get some drama. Which,
be honest,
I mean, this is Formula One.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of Ferrari, let's talk about Sainz.
He snagged P3
on the grid
for his final race with the team.
Bittersweet, right?
Oh, for sure.
He put on a stellar performance.
Showing his commitment.
Right to the end.
Right to the end.
But you have to think about the pressure he must be under.
Oh, yeah.
To leave on a high note.
Yeah.
Maybe even a win.
Maybe even a win.
It's got to be on his mind.
Absolutely.
And then there's Leclerc.
Ooh.
Not his best day.
Not his best day.
To say the least.
Exceeding track limits in Q2.
And that 10-place grid penalty.
Starting last.
That's a blow.
For him.
And for Ferrari.
Yeah, it's a tough break.
Especially when every point counts.
Every point counts.
And it almost feels like the pressure got to him. You know, OKDIRIO even described his driving as erratic.
Oh, wow.
Which isn't something you normally associate with Leclerc.
He's
so calculated.
Precise.
Yeah.
I wonder if that pressure of trying to secure that constructor's title for Ferrari just got to him.
Yeah.
Or maybe some car issues we don't know about.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he can recover during the race.
Yeah.
Starting last, he's got a mountain to climb.
But we've seen him pull off incredible overtakes before.
We have.
Speaking of impressive comebacks, Fernando Alonso.
Oh, man.
A8. Despite AstonMartin having a rough weekend,
I mean,
that's the Alonso magic right there.
That's Alonso magic.
It's almost like he thrives under pressure.
Oh, yeah.
Remember his Q2 lap?
Mundo Deportivo called it a masterclass in precision and risk-taking.
And they're not wrong.
They're not wrong.
He just barely made it through Q2.
Barely.
And then, boom, this incredible lap to secure a Q3 spot.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder where his teammate Stroll was in all of this.
Eliminated in Q1?
It's a stark contrast.
It really is.
You know, it really highlights Alonso's individual skill.
Yeah, and experience.
That he brings to the track.
Yeah, it's like he can squeeze performance out of a car that just isn't there for anyone else.
You know, and this is supposedly his last season.
Yeah.
So it makes his drive even more intriguing.
Absolutely.
Is he going to go all out?
One last hurrah.
Or will he play it safe?
Yeah.
To end on a high note?
So many layers.
We don't know.
No.
And speaking of veterans.
Yeah.
We can't ignore Hamilton's final qualifying session.
With Mercedes.
Getting knocked out in Q1.
What a disappointing way to end his chapter with that team.
I was really hoping for a stronger showing from him.
Yeah.
Especially with his history at this track.
Yeah.
But traffic jams.
Tricky conditions.
It seemed like everything that could go wrong. And let's be honest, the Mercedes car hasn't exactly been a star performer this season.
No, it hasn't.
They've lost their edge. And Hamilton's been bearing the brunt of it.
He has.
I wonder if this could be a factor in his decision to retire.
It's definitely possible.
You know, just tired of battling a car that's not up to his standards.
Yeah.
All right, before we move on to the championship implications, were there any other standout moments from this qualifying session that caught your eye?
Nico Hülkenberg snagging P4 was a surprise.
Yeah.
He's really found his groove with Haas this season.
Yeah.
And then there's Verstappen.
Oh, yeah.
He managed to pull out P5.
Yeah.
But that near crash at the end of his first Q3 run, heart-stopping moment.
You could tell he was shaken up.
Oh, yeah.
For a moment there, I thought the entire grid
I know.
could be reshuffled.
Yeah, it just goes to show that even the best drivers are pushing the limits out there.
Yeah.
And sometimes those limits bite back.
That's what makes the sport so unpredictable.
And exciting.
So exciting.
Right.
Okay, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture.
Okay.
What does this qualifying session mean for the championship battle?
Well, it's clear that McLaren is in the driver's seat, so to speak.
They've got the points.
The momentum.
And now that front row lockout.
But Ferrari isn't out of the game yet.
No.
Remember, anything can happen in an F1 race.
Oh, you're telling me?
There's
safety cars?
Unexpected penalties.
It's all part of the drama.
It's part of the show.
Do you think Ferrari has any realistic chance of pulling off a miracle win?
It's a long shot. But stranger things have happened.
That's true.
They would need a perfect race from Sainz.
Okay.
Some serious bad luck for McLaren.
And
maybe even a little help from Leclerc.
Despite starting at the back.
Despite starting at the back.
What do you think?
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't rule anything out at this point.
No.
The tension is building.
Oh, yeah.
And this final race is shaping up to be one for the history books.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So what are you most excited to see play out in the race itself?
I'm really interested to see what Sainz can do.
Me too.
You know, can he deliver that fairy tale ending to his Ferrari chapter?
With a win.
With a win.
And then there's Alonso.
Yeah.
That quiet determination.
To prove he's still got it.
Even in a car that's not at the top of its game.
Exactly.
I can't wait to see what he pulls off.
Yeah, and let's not forget Leclerc's charge from the back of the grid.
Oh, yeah.
Will he play the team game and try to help Sainz? Or will he go all out for a personal victory?
We'll have to see.
The possibilities are endless.
Endless.
I know.
So much is at stake. And those emotional stakes are just as high as the championship ones.
Oh, for sure.
It's going to be epic.
Under the Abu Dhabi lights.
All right, everyone, get ready for part 2, where we break down the key takeaways from this qualifying session.
Yeah.
And we'll dive deeper into those potential race strategies.
I'm too forward to it.
I am too.
You know, it's fascinating to see how the narrative has shifted throughout the season. Early on, it felt like anyone's game. But McLaren's consistency has really paid off.
They have flown under the radar a bit, haven't they?
They have.
They haven't always had the flashiest wins.
No.
But they've been quietly racking up those points and avoiding those major errors.
Exactly.
I mean, AS even called them the silent assassins of the season.
I like that.
Which it's a pretty apt description.
It is.
You know, they focused on that reliability work, the fundamentals.
Yeah.
And it's clearly working.
But let's not discount Ferrari just yet.
No.
They still have a mathematical chance
They do.
of winning that championship.
Right.
So let's play this out.
Okay.
What would Ferrari need to do to pull off this miracle win?
Well, for starters, Sainz needs to win the race.
Okay.
And hope that both Norris and Piastri finish outside the points.
Ooh.
That's a tall order.
Considering McLaren's qualifying performance.
It sounds near impossible.
Yeah.
But I guess you never know. What about Leclerc?
Yeah.
Could he play a role in shaking things up?
I mean,
even starting from the back?
He could try to disrupt McLaren's strategy. Okay. Maybe force them into an early pit stop or create some chaos on the track.
Yeah.
But realistically, I think his focus should be on damage control.
Okay.
Securing as many points as possible for Ferrari.
Yeah, it's a tough decision for the team.
It is.
Go all out for the win, knowing it's a long shot.
Right.
Or prioritize securing second place in the championship.
Yeah. What do you think they'll choose?
I suspect they'll play it safe.
Yeah.
You know, a second place finish is still a huge accomplishment.
It is.
And it sets them up nicely for next season.
For sure.
All right, let's shift gears back to Sainz for a second.
Okay.
His final race with Ferrari.
Starting from P3.
It's got to be a whirlwind of emotions for him.
Definitely.
I'm sure he wants to go out on a high.
Prove to everyone that he's a top driver.
Capable of winning races.
Capable of winning races.
But at the same time, he'll want to leave on good terms with the team.
Right. It's a delicate balance, isn't it?
It is.
You want to show your worth, but you also don't want to burn any bridges.
No, you don't.
And there's the added pressure of Leclerc's situation.
Oh, yeah.
You can bet that Ferrari will be hoping for a 1-2 finish.
With Sainz taking the win.
And Leclerc recovering as many positions as possible.
It would be an amazing story, wouldn't it?
It would.
The final farewell victory for Sainz.
Yeah.
And a show of strength from Leclerc.
Despite starting at the back?
It would be a fitting end to a dramatic season.
It would.
All right, before we wrap up, I have to ask about Alonso.
Of course.
Can he work his magic and climb through the ranks from P8?
Never underestimate Alonso, that's what I always say.
That's right.
He's a master strategist.
Incredible at tire management.
And he knows how to make bold moves when it counts.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the top 5.
Maybe even challenging for a podium finish.
That would be incredible.
Wouldn't?
It's like he gets better with age.
It really is.
He's proving that experience and racecraft are just as important as raw speed.
Absolutely. He's a living legend.
And it'll be fascinating to see how he approaches this race.
Knowing it could be his last.
Adds another layer of intrigue.
To an already captivating event.
So much to look forward to.
So much.
This final race is a culmination of everything we've seen throughout the season.
Yeah, the rivalries, the surprises.
The individual brilliance.
The team strategies.
It's going to be an edge-of-your-seat showdown.
It is.
And I can't wait to break it all down for you in part 3.
We'll analyze the key moments.
Dissect those crucial decisions.
And of course, offer our expert opinions on who came out on top.
Don't miss it.
You will want to.
We've covered so much ground in this deep dive.
We have.
From McLaren's domination to Sainz's last stand with Ferrari and Alonso just never giving up. We've analyzed all these articles and broken down all the strategies.
Yeah.
So now it's time to wrap it all up.
It's been an amazing season.
It really has.
And this final qualifying session in Abu Dhabi just amped up all the excitement.
For sure.
The stage is set for an amazing race.
I can't wait.
I know, me neither.
So much riding on this race, championships, reputations, bragging rights.
Absolutely.
So let's recap the key takeaways.
All right.
For those of you just joining us.
McLaren's looking really strong.
Yeah.
They are the clear favorites for the Constructors' title. That front row lockout puts them in a commanding position.
Yeah, but like we've been saying, anything can happen in F1.
Absolutely.
Sainz is starting his final race for Ferrari from P3.
It's a bittersweet moment.
It really is.
But he's got a real chance to end his Ferrari chapter with a win.
And then there's Alonso.
Starting P8.
But you can't count him out.
With all his experience and racecraft, he's a real dark horse in this race.
Totally agree. And let's not forget about Leclerc. Starting at the back of the grid.
Yeah, what can he do?
Can he pull off a miracle comeback and snag some points for Ferrari?
We'll see. We'll see.
I think this race is going to come down to strategy and tire management.
Oh, for sure.
And a bit of luck, you know?
Who can make the right calls at the right time and who can stay out of trouble.
Exactly.
This deep dive has been incredible.
It has.
I feel like we're all set for an unforgettable race.
Me too.
It's been awesome sharing these insights with you.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited to see how everyone's predictions play out.
Yes.
And before we wrap up, I want to give a big shout out to all of you watching on the F1 Blogs YouTube channel.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into qualifying.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more F1 content, and you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok for all the latest updates and behind-the-scenes insights.
Yeah, we'll be back soon with a complete breakdown of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Until then, keep those engines revving, and we'll see you at the finish line.